on a D&D stream. It's not me streaming the D&D. Yeah. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. Or not tomorrow. Friday. Hola, Omni. Hello, Silver. Welcome, Ian. Happy Wednesday. So yeah, we'll give everybody a couple seconds to hop in, and then we will read our book. Yay! Hi, 90s! So yeah, it'll be fine. Whew. I have not been able to watch MAUL yet. I probably will not be able to watch it till Saturday. Ooh, I'm like super bloated right now. I did not get to watch episodes 3 and 4. I am looking forward to it, but I haven't got to watch it yet. Aw, thank you. I didn't really do anything different. I just have it down. I think next week? I feel like next week I have a haircut. I think it's like the last week of April. Second to last week of April? Something like that. I don't know. I gotta go to the office tomorrow. I hate going to the office. Oh, thank you. Is it good hair? I don't know if I'm having a good hair day or not. It's kind of flat. I think because Sam just really loves Star Wars. Like, I feel like Sam just really loves Star Wars. That's all I'm gonna say about him. I had my chance to meet him and I was not impressed, but, you know, maybe he was just having a bad day. Like, all the other celebrities I've met have always been, like, super awesome, amazing. With the exception of Sam Witwer. Like, Sam Witwer is probably, like, my least favorite celebrity interaction that I've done so far. Of all the ones that I've done. It's hard to pick the best. I mean, Hayden Christensen obviously is, like, tops for me, but, the most friendly was probably Alex Brightman. He was like, he just loves his job. Yeah. I've never got to meet Samuel L. Jackson. I'm hoping that I could eventually meet him. Did they set a date for Star Wars Celebration tickets? I'm still waiting for them to drop the date. I would really like them to drop the date for Star Wars Celebration. But they haven't done it yet. If you got to meet Alex, he is so nice. He is so sweet. Like, and he hijacked my phone. So, like, normally they'll take, like, one picture with you or maybe two. But, like, Alex Brightman, he hijacked my phone and then was, like, taking selfies with me and my baby cousin and my daughter and then all three of us. And, like, he had so much fun. He was having, like, and he was doing that with everybody. Like, he made sure to, like, spend time with every single person that walked up to him. And the funniest thing to me was that every person that walked up, he'd reach out and said, "Hi, my name is Alex." Like, he just put out his hand and be like, "Hi, my name is Alex. Hi, my name is Alex." And everybody that went through his line. So, like, Alex Brightman was probably my favorite as far as all of the interactions that I've done so far. Just because he seemed to really enjoy the fans in a way that, like, he wants to know his fans in just a different level. I would love to meet Keith David. Oh, I love Keith David. Oh, that's to sign the hat. I was like, I hope they're not $400 to $1,000 for Star Wars Celebration tickets. Oh my goodness gracious. Ooh, boy, I hope not. I really hope not. Oh, I should say if my friend Alyssa is going to do anything for Star Wars Celebration. She does stuff for San Diego Comic-Con. Seriously, I need Star Wars Celebration tickets to go on sale. I'm going. I'm gonna try and go as best as I can because it's the 50th anniversary of Star Wars. Oh, that's cool, Luna. So I had when I met Steve Whitmire a couple years back. I really shocked him because I had him sign my Muppet Beach Party CD because he doesn't see those very often. Hey, Reverend Sarchai! He was very excited because he doesn't see those very often. And then he was telling me that like in between all the tracks, there's like little mini sound bites. And he said those were all ad-libbed. Like everything that they did in between each of the songs was just them goofing off. Which made my day. I love Muppet Beach Party. It's one of my favorite CDs. I'm very proud that I have it. So, yeah. And it looks like they're starting to release their Star Wars stuff now for the Disney parks for May, so hopefully I get to snag some of it. They came out with a new shirt. Ooh, might have to buy it. It's a baseball jersey, so they've been coming out with like, the Spirit jerseys are nice, but then they also have like baseball jerseys, I guess for when it's too hot to wear a Spirit jersey. But they came out with this like new Empire baseball jersey, which I think I'm gonna get. Keith David seems like he's super sweet. Like he seems super chill. Yeah, the only fan interaction that I've had that I was kind of like was Sam Witwer. Like he just didn't seem to want to be there at the con at all. Matt Lanter was great. James Arnold Taylor was also wonderful. He was funny because everybody that walked up to his table, hello there, hello there, hello there. Yeah, I saw that. So, well, Solo's coming, Leia's coming, Chewie's been there already. And Luke Skywalker, -1 times -1 is 1. So, hi Tony! So yeah, I think that that's what's going to be happening with, that would be 7. So yeah, a lot of the old characters come back. I don't know if they're gonna remove, I hope they don't remove like Mando and Boba Fett. Or Fennec Shand. I haven't seen anything about like, they're not really gonna be doing Kylo Ren anymore. Rey is still gonna be there. That's 5. I would like to meet Brent Spiner. I am really hoping though that he hasn't come in a while, but LeVar Burton, I really want LeVar Burton, -1. I really hope LeVar Burton comes back to GalaxyCon because my friend and I had this plan. We're all gonna dress up as Planeteers. We're gonna do like a complete Planeteers photo op with him. And we've decided to like gender swap all the Planeteers. I have no idea what's with the math. I'll just keep answering them because it's fun, because I like math. 9. No, 0. I have no idea. That one's one I don't remember. When everybody talks about Puck. So yeah, I really hope LeVar Burton comes back to GalaxyCon. He hasn't been for a while. Because I want to do the Captain Planet thing that my friend and I came up with. Because yeah, we're swapping all the genders around for all of Captain Planet. So I'm gonna be Fire. And 7th grade order of operations math. I guess that's what we're doing. I don't really know. It's weird. All right, is everybody here? Luna, Silver, Omni, Tony. Are all of my regulars here? Because you guys have been here most of the time. Are we ready to read? Yes, we are still on the MAUL book. We are on chapter 48. If you haven't been here, MAUL killed Iram Radiq. He was matched up with him, ended up killing him, and Iram Radiq was the guy he was trying to find, right? I guess Sidious wanted to find Iram Radiq in order to get a weapon from him so Sidious could kill Plagueis, but then Plagueis just wanted Iram Radiq dead. And so, yeah, in the last 2 nights ago, MAUL killed Iram Radiq, and now he's basically, he's being treated like the new guy, but we don't know. Like, we're kind of like trying to figure out like what's happening now. It seems like it's a Dread Pirate Robert situation. Based on how the last chapter ended, it seems like this whole Iram Radiq weapons dealer thing is a Dread Pirate Robert situation where there was an original Iram Radiq, but now it's just like a mantle that you take up to be the weapons dealer, right? And then when you want to retire, you cease to be Iram Radiq, and the next guy is. So that's what it sounds like. So, yes, technically 56. Yes, technically there can only be a master and an apprentice. Technically, MAUL was not Sidious's apprentice until Plagueis died. Sidious did not necessarily take on MAUL as his apprentice, like as an apprentice, until after Plagueis died, or at least that's what they said in the Plagueis books. Or at least that's what they alluded to. Because up until that point, so like, supposedly, the way it was written in Plagueis, now obviously Clone Wars changed the story a little bit, but the way it was written in Plagueis was that Palpatine was like wandering, I think it was Zabrak, and he was just like around, and then some lady just handed her baby to Sidious and was like, here, take my baby. And he did, and that was MAUL. Like, that was kind of, like, it was such a strange thing. Yeah, he wasn't an official apprentice. He was like an acolyte or something like that. He was being trained in the Sith arts, and he was, for all intents and purposes, he was a Sith. But like, yeah, Palpatine was just kind of like handed baby MAUL and was like, this is yours now. And his mom just like disappeared into a crowd. And it was so like, such a random, yeah, he just got a free Night Brother. Like, it was so odd. Like, the way that they wrote that in the Plagueis book was just so random. It's like, we gotta come up with a reason. We gotta come up with how he got MAUL, I guess. And then they just, like, random happenstance. It was so strange. So strange. But yeah, that's how Sidious got MAUL, he was just, like, on a planet, and his mom just handed him the baby and was like, now it's yours. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, this is how it's written in the Wikipedia. Less than a year after MAUL's birth, his mother encountered Darth Sidious, the young Sith apprentice of Darth Plagueis, and implored him to save MAUL from the life of a Night Brother. Though somewhat reluctant, Sidious was persuaded to take MAUL, especially given the infant's strong connection to the Force. Yeah, just like, I don't want my baby to be a Night Brother! Take it! And then that was it. So odd. Just like, yeah. Weird. It was so weird. And it was like 3 sentences in the book. Like, that was the thing, is like, what made it even more weird is there were no details. It was just like a paragraph in Plagueis. And it was like, Sidious was walking along in a market. His mother gave him over and then disappeared into the crowd. Like, that's it. That's all. Like, not a whole lot of conversation about it. Just like, so he's Moses. Sort of. Like, an evil Moses? Is he evil Moses, I guess? And yeah, and Plagueis was mildly upset but Kate because he's like, hey, free assassin. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Mm-hmm. That sums up the story of how Sidious got MAUL. The Legends timeline is so weird sometimes, right? Like, these books are they're fun. And like, for gaps that have not been filled in via the on-screen stuff, canon timeline, like the Legends timeline can lend into that now, which is kind of nice. Like, it adds in elements that, like, not in the sequel era, because they've completely rewritten all of that with the sequels, right? We don't have Jaina and Jason and Anakin and all that. But like in the prequel era and original trilogy era, these holes that exist in the story, or you're like, I wonder how that happened. Like, it's fun because like the Legends, if you do, even though technically Legends aren't canon, like, it just kind of plugs little bits into the story that you're otherwise like, oh yeah, I guess that does kind of make sense, kind of a thing. So that's one of the reasons I still like reading the Legends timeline, even though it's technically not canon, because it fills in spots that like are otherwise not explained. Again, if in the films, Anakin was just conceived by the Force, right? That's it. That's all, and we accept it to be that, and everybody just goes, okay, cool. But if you read the books, and you know that like what Plagueis did, because Plagueis is kind of technically sort of in a roundabout way Anakin's father, because of that, like, that fills in a hole that is otherwise not explained in the films. And then you're kind of like, oh, well, Plagueis basically was manipulating the whole galaxy from the start. Like, he created Anakin, who was the chosen one, and like all these things, right? Yeah, Plagueis fills in. Well, yeah, I guess he does. Yeah, Plagueis fills in like 3/4 of the story in Phantom Menace. And it shows you like how Palpatine rose to power, and really like where Padme came, like, how did Naboo get the youngest queen ever? Why did the Traitor Federation do what they did? And so like it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice that we get the Legends timeline to fill in gaps that we don't get on screen, until they fill it in on screen, and then you're like, well, throwing that out from the Legends timeline. But up until that point, we can use the Legends timeline to just fill in the gaps that are not otherwise filled in the you'll get that in the Queen series. Yeah. Well, the Queen series is considered canon. It's not Legends. Yeah, the Queen series is not Legend. It's canon. Same thing goes for like some, like Rise of the Red Blade is considered canon. Living Force is current canon. So like some of the ones we've read are actually current canon. And fun modern parallels. People thought Trade Blockade was boring and unrealistic. Yep. Again, when I said I wanted to live in Star Wars, Trade Federation blockades, not what I meant. Not what I meant. Also, by the way, in that note, if you are on that team, if you're on my team in that particular sense, go and look up what HelloFresh posted. I think it's on Twitter. Because that was freaking hilarious. I just canceled my Home Chef to switch to HelloFresh because of what HelloFresh posted today. Yeah, that was funny. That was very funny. HelloFresh is definitely, they got me. And if people are like, oh, it's so bougie of you. You know what? It cost me just as much to get HelloFresh or Home Chef delivered to my door and feeds us for the same amount of time for the same amount of money. I mean, it's like $10, $15 more than me going to the grocery store, and I get the benefit of not having to go to the grocery store, and probably in a roundabout way, it saves me money because I'm not going to the grocery store and buying extra stuff that my ADHD says that I need. Hang on, yeah. Maybe it wasn't on Twitter. I gotta find out where that post was. Or maybe it was on their Instagram. Oh, yeah, it's on Instagram. It's their post from today on Instagram. If you don't want to go to Instagram right now, this is the official statement from HelloFresh. I'll read in a second. This is the official statement from HelloFresh today. We considered, after what happened with DoorDash earlier this week, HelloFresh. We considered dropping off a HelloFresh box at a very famous house painted white, but we didn't want to overwhelm anyone with step 1 preheat oven. Petty bitches. Yeah, if you go, yeah. I switched I was doing Home Chef, and I was thinking of canceling or at least like going to a different box recently because Home Chef has recently either not delivered my ingredients, delivered me rotten ingredients, haven't included my recipe cards, and when I call, they're like, oh, we're sorry about that. We'll take that into account. It's been really annoying. So but yeah, I switched back to HelloFresh today purely because of what they put on Instagram. Oh, Ugly Root? Or Hungry Root. I think it was Hungry Root. Oh, you're talking about, yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Ugly Foods. I don't do DoorDash. I don't really do DoorDash in the first place. I don't do Uber Eats. I don't do Grubhub. I don't do food delivery. Mainly because I live in the middle of nowhere, and so there is no food delivery. But, you know what? I'll just, for $12 for a delivery fee, I'll just go pick it up myself. Alright. Chapter 48. Watch the Throne. Here. The customized Ubrikian space yacht dropped out of hyperspace, flanked by a complement of 6 Z-95 headhunters, all of them materializing at once into the void immediately outside the short-range detection system of Coghive 7. For a moment, nothing seemed to move. The Minstrel-class yacht, christened Star Jewel, appeared to hang suspended almost lazily in space as if evaluating its options. Opulent to the point of obscenity, the Jewel was as lethal as it was extravagant. It optimized CL-14 hyperdrive motor vapor had made the journey from Hut space through the Trillius trade route almost too swiftly for the purposes of its owner, who had expressed emphatic interest along the way in building an even greater appetite in the Kell dragons he'd kept chained in his throne room. When they left Nal Hutta, the dragons were already hungry. By the time the hyperdrive settled into silence, the creatures were literally drooling on the throne room floor. Now, seated before the great transperisteel dome in all his vast draconian majesty, Jabba de Silik-Tur turned from his beloved dragons to gaze outward into the vast expanse of nothingness, none of which belonged to him, although he felt right at home here. It hadn't been too terribly long ago, really just a few short centuries, since he'd relocated his base of operations to the Bomar Monastery on Tatooine, and he was still young enough that just such expected jaunts across the galaxy appealed to the daring side of his nature. I don't know. Possibly Omni. Everything had gone as expected. There was no sign of the target that had brought them here. Not yet, although there was no rush. The Jewel's crew, the usual entourage of slave girls, carnivorous pets, and cutthroat enforcers, Trandoshans, Gran, and Gamorreans, made the final preparations for their own dark business here, an opportunity that Jabba, having come so far, had no mention of letting slip away. Ramped down the turbo lasers, he activated the link to the Jewel's bridge, where his pilot and second-in-command, Scuppa, had sequestered himself for the duration of the trip. Power all systems down to silence. I want no detectable heat signatures from the ion engines until my signal. The order had the expected results. Seconds later, Scuppa himself appeared in the throne room, expressing himself with characteristic bluntness. I don't like this. Scuppa, my boy, come closer and join the party. Beckoning the pilot toward himself and the rabble surrounding him, Jabba grinned. Surely you don't think you're better than us. I never said... Good. Squeamishness is for the weak. Jabba waved him over, taking perverse delight in the pilot's reluctance. It wasn't that Scuppa had any qualms about mingling with the exotic concubines, hired muscle, or low-level hangers-on that were currently amusing themselves taunting the Kell dragons. He simply wasn't comfortable being away from the ship's navigational system when they were this far off the trade route. After all, one never knew what trouble might run into in the Outer Rim. We won't have to wait long now. You have an NDA with several of the companies mentioned, so no comment. Oh, okay. It's a mistake to power down the turbo lasers, Scuppa said, if the prison barge gets the drop on us. They won't. Jabba reached down for the bowl beneath his hookah and drew out a Clatuine patty frog, dropping the unfortunate creature live and squirming into his mouth. I've already dispatched the Star Jewels guard to locate them before they find us. Another bad idea. Scuppa's lower lip reshaped itself into an even more displaced mew. With the headhunters gone, we're already more exposed than ever. Relax, Scuppa. It's almost time. Sit down and enjoy the show. He gestured to the open area directly below his throne. The pilot remained standing in the open hatchway while two of Jabba's bodyguards, a psychopathic Gamorrean war criminal and dwarf Oscan blood eater, thrashed in a mortal combat across the floor in front of where Jabba himself was seated, just outside the reach of the Kell dragons. Within a few seconds, the blood eater had slashed open the Gamorrean's face and latched on to him to feed. Already Jabba felt himself growing bored, restless in a way that all too often characterized the final moments before he allowed himself the full gratification of settling the business at hand. Aw, thank you for the follow! Today, that business was revenge. Over the past 3 years, the credits that he'd lost to Iram Radik's arms sales had metastasized from a minor annoyance to an intolerable insult. Even so, Jabba had been prepared to absorb a certain degree of indignity, at least temporarily, in his almost 600 years of experience as a crime lord. I did not know that he was that old. Did you know that Jabba the Hutt was like 600 years old? Jeez! Did not know that Hutts lived... It's like, does everybody but humans in this, like, galaxy live a couple centuries? I didn't know he looks good for his age. Jeez. He discovered that men like Radik rarely lasted long enough to bother with, even when they took ingenious measures to protect themselves, like disappearing into the woodwork of Cog Hive 7. As Radik had, it was simply a matter of time before they backed the wrong army, allied themselves with the wrong crime syndicate, sold guns to the wrong separatists. After a meteoric rise in reputation, they invariably disappeared without a trace, never to be spoken of again. Jabba, in his great leniency and mercy, had decided that he would stand by and allow Radik to fall victim to his own success. For the time being, he would continue to send his men into the prison as guards to discover the arms dealer's identity, but nothing more. But things had changed on Cog Hive 7. As of yesterday, they had changed very quickly indeed. Of course, Jabba hadn't been personally attached to any of his lackeys that he'd sent to the prison undercover, but to stand by and allow his own people to be slaughtered, ripped apart, and devoured by the inmates of the prison, while the prison's female warden stood by grinning like a monkey lizard, as an affront to the very pillars of his authority. Watching his foot soldiers being destroyed, Jabba made up his mind that if he couldn't put Iram Radik out of business, then he would simply destroy Cog Hive 7 completely. Ultimately, it would prove both simpler and far more gratifying, and he'd realized immediately how to do it. An alarm sounded on the control panel beside his throne, the signal of an incoming transmission from the pilot of one of the headhunters. Transport ship in sight, the pilot reported back. We're closing in on her now. Jabba saw Scuppa straighten up in anticipation, while down below the throne the Blood Eater finished its meal to the scattered applause of the others. The Gamorreans and the Trandoshans were eager, as he was, to get on with their own true business at hand. Get to the armory, Jabba told them. Suit up. He turned to Scuppa. You should be relieved, my friend. I'm going to let you reactivate your turbo lasers. Within minutes, the prison transport barge, Purge, had drifted into attack range. Although Jabba had ordered Scuppa to ignore any request from the Purge's captains to identify himself, failure to respond to the prison barge's hailing frequencies had resulted in the anticipated result. The barge had brought its own weapon systems online, under the assumption that the Star Jewel was a pirate vessel, or worse. I'm speaking to the captain of the unidentified space yacht. The voice of the Purge's captain through the intercom sounded strained with impatience. You're in a designated approach corridor for prison transport to Cog Hive 7. Identify yourself at once, or you will be fired upon. Yes, Hondo is a weak way. Scuppa's voice, equally anxious, crackled through Strule's comlink. Jabba, how much longer? Easy, friend. Jabba waited, a smile waiting over his lips, saturating his entire face with the pleasure of impending attack. Silently counting off the seconds, he peered out the dome, yellow eyes gleaming with excitement as he gazed out on the Purge. Down below, the Trandoshans and Gamorreans had gone to their armory to suit up and prepare the weapons. The throne room was almost empty, except for the dragons. Chapter 49. Cabal. Maul's first impression of the weapons shop was that it was a surgeon's operating room more than a workspace. A long, brightly illuminated theater of apparent sterility, whose every surface seemed polished and clean. Excuse me. At the moment, however, he was more preoccupied with the identity of the one who beckoned him inside. Come in, the Mune said, still standing inside the open hatchway. I just got here myself. He smiled thinly. We've both certainly earned a look around, to say the least. Maul regarded him coldly. Whatever else he might have been, the individual standing in front of him clearly wasn't a prisoner of the Hive. His uniform was IBC, standard fiduciary garb, the green tunic and trousers. Exactly what one would expect of a galactic financial executive. The banking clans present here in an illegal weapons operation in the middle of a prison raised more questions than it answered. I'm Vestos Slifer, the Mune said. And then, as if reading Maul's thoughts, he added, believe it or not, my purposes here aren't entirely at odds with yours. Not as much as you might think, but please, step inside. Maul entered the chamber and looked around, his mind quickly absorbing and processing a dozen different details simultaneously. The shop was swarming with activity. Inmates he'd never seen before, human and non-human alike, stood in rows before the assembly tables, sorting components from different crates, passing them back and forth among themselves, and putting them together by sense of touch. Maul stood observing them for a long moment, trying to process what it was that bothered him about them. They functioned in nearly total silence, but there was something peculiar about them that he couldn't quite put his finger on, until one of them raised his face in Maul's direction. And then he saw. They had no eyes. Their empty eye sockets were caves of blindness, raw and dark and hollow. After a moment, the inmate who'd been facing Maul turned back down to the partially assembled weapon in front of him and returned to his work. Radik removes the eyes, Slifer said conversationally. Apparently it's a prerequisite to working down here. Another safeguard, I suppose. A means of preserving absolute secrecy. Maul said nothing. He was remembering his very first day in the mess hall. The blind inmates that he'd noticed sitting off by themselves, groping with their food and utensils. That was how they lived. Now, except for the soft click and snap of assembled parts, the only sound was the faint rustle of the clawbirds who had settled into the far corner of the room into a kind of makeshift nesting area. What are they still doing down here if Radik is dead? Don't they know? A flicker of motion caught his attention from the far end of the shop. There was someone in the corner, his wrists and ankles bound. A guard that Maul recognized, the one called Smite. He'd been gagged, but his eyes were huge, gleaming with a mixture of anger and fear and confusion. Ah, yes, Slifer said, noticing that Maul was looking at the guard. Apparently we're not the only ones who found ourselves down here. I'm quite sure Mr. Radik would not like the idea of an intruder ransacking his arsenal, would you? Particularly someone as unsavory as Mr. Smite here. Radik is dead, Maul said. I killed him. Dead? Slifer glanced at him for a moment, then laughed. That's funny, he said. You know, for a moment, I almost believed you. It's true. Oh, no. Iram Radik is very much alive, I assure you. The weak way that you killed in that last bout was a proxy. Radik has a dozen of them in circulation at any time to ensure his own safety. How do you know? Maul asked. Instead of answering, the Mune turned to look at the rows of blind inmates as they painstakingly assembled the components on the tables in front of them. Do you know what they're building? Weapons. Not just weapons, Slifer said. Lightsabers. Maul felt something go tight in his chest. What? Synthetic lightsabers, Radique's newest invention. A radical departure from anything that has been accomplished up to this point. Apparently it works on synth crystal. The Mune walked over to the end of a long counter and picked up a sleek red gem, holding it up to admiringly catch the light. They're baked in a geological compressor. Can you imagine the power inside of one of these? Ah, a voice spoke from behind him, but power is in the eye of the beholder, is it not? Maul knew who it was even before turning around and looked down. Coil was standing there, peering up at him. What are you doing here? Synthetic lightsabers! Not just lightsabers, synthetic lightsabers, using synth crystals instead of kyber crystals. Synthetic lightsabers! I feel like this is... I'm gonna guess that this is gonna piss Maul off more than it's gonna make him, like, excited. I don't see why they couldn't. I called him down, Zero said as he stepped through the hatchway and sealed it shut behind him. After I sent a message summoning Mr. Slifer, I felt like it was time we all met face to face. Maul stared at him. The poison, he began, and then he remembered the one who had first told him about it. Coil smiled and gave him a slight, apologetic shrug as if to say, What is life but a riddle that none of us can answer? Really think you could have slipped anything remotely dangerous into my food without me being alerted about it first? Zero asked. Dagonath, you continue to surprise me. Maul looked at their faces, from Zero to Coil to Slifer, and then back to Zero again. You've found your way to Radique's inner circle, Zero told him. The backbone cabal, if you like. The Clawbirds recognized it when they brought you here. Zero reached down into the crate behind him, drawing a blaster rifle from inside it, and pointing it at Maul's chest. Unfortunately, this is where it ends for you. You've seen too much. Mr. Radique would never allow you to leave. Maul looked back at the rows of eyeless inmates hunched before their workstations, silently assembling the weapons. Possibility had been taken shape in his mind without his realizing it, but he saw it now more clearly. They're not functioning properly, are they? He asked. Zero hesitated. What? Radique's synthetic lightsabers. The crystals aren't working like he thought they would. How did you... Slifer began, but Zero silenced him with a look. We're having no such problems. Tucking the blaster rifle under his arm, Zero walked over to the workspace, reached into the packing crate, and pulled out a long cylindrical shaft, holding it up for inspection. Then you won't mind a demonstration, Maul said. Go ahead. He took a step forward, tipping back his head to expose his throat. Use it on me. For a long moment, Zero didn't move or speak. Then, with the lightsaber still in one hand and the blaster in the other, the Twi'lek turned to look across the workspace to where the guard, Smite, was still glaring at him with a gag in his mouth, his hands and ankles bound. Bring him over here, he said. Coil walked over to Smite, and with strength that belied his size, he picked up the guard and slung him over his shoulder like a sack of laundry, carrying him over to Zero. Cut him loose, Zero said when the Chandra fan hesitated. Go ahead. He's not going anywhere. Shrugging, Coil plucked a sharpened question mark-shaped object from his back pocket, some claw or tooth from some lesser species, no doubt scabbage from one of his sculptures, and hooked it through the plastic restraints on the guard's wrists, snapping them free. Zero turned to Smite. Take this, Zero said, handing the lightsaber to the guard and nodding to Maul, and kill the Zabrak. Smite snared at the lightsaber. The gag was still over his mouth, but Maul could see all kinds of things going on in the guard's face. Anger, humiliation, uncertainty, and ultimately a kind of murderous resolve. He flipped the switch. A narrow red beam shot out from the lightsaber's hilt. The beam was thinner than any that Maul had seen before, and instead of humming, it crackled and hissed unsteadily from base to tip. Did they really have to use that verbiage? sounds wrong. That whole sounds wrong. Now it's about to get worse. Okay, I'm gonna read this whole thing. I'm gonna read this whole paragraph again. Just so wrong. I don't think someone was writing about a lightsaber when they wrote this. Oh. Okay. A narrow red beam shot out from the lightsaber's hilt. The beam was thinner than any that Maul had seen before, and instead of humming, it crackled and hissed unsteadily from base to tip. Weird, oscillating skeins of plasma writhed up and down the length of the beam, like hundreds of semi-transparent serpents. On the whole, it looked even more unstable than the man holding it. Are we sure that he was talking about lightsabers? Because the way that that paragraph is written does not sound like we were talking about lightsabers. Or even if we were, you could easily replace lightsaber with other things. And it would still make sense. I mean, yeah. But, like, not described in this. This basically said it was a skinny saber with lots of veins. Okay? Like, really? Did you really need to describe it that way? I feel like that's just wrong. It seems wrong. Oh, Belle, that sounds awful. Just, a little, but, Terrible kind of righteousness came over Smite's face, as if grasping this weapon, even its most bastardized state, he'd arrived at the same moment of supreme, almost sacred self-actualization. He lifted it up over his head, preparing to bring it down on Maul's exposed throat. He was still swinging it down when the blade arced sideways, looping back on itself, and Maul saw it slash around like the tail of a scorpion, something alive and venomous, hooking through Smite's face and carving it cleanly in half, then jerking sideways. The guard didn't have time to scream. His right arm hit the floor, the red blade still flicking and leaping erratically from his limp fingers, chopping what remained of Smite's body to pieces before it finally crackled and died out in a spreading lake of dark, arterial blood. Oh my goodness. That is a lot. You think I've read too much Smite? I think I've read a lot. Just the standard healthy amount. They all took a step back from what remained of the corpse. Coyle mumbled something under his breath. Zero was staring at the malfunctioning lightsaber, his face unreadable. Slifer looked at it as if he was going to be sick. I just realized my microphone has been down here the whole time. Is that better? Is the sound a little bit better now, Belle? Sorry about that. I did not realize that my... Yeah, I did not realize that I had that set up that way. Yep. Oops. A synthetic penis saber. Wouldn't a lightsaber cauterize wounds? It would if it was a functioning lightsaber. But that was not a functioning lightsaber. Right? We don't know if it was hot enough to cauterize wounds. Might not have been, because it was not functioning. Well, Maul nodded at the synthetic lightsaber. Mr. Radik won't be pleased with that. So, yeah, Brian, we're talking, apparently in this book, we're reading Maul Lockdown. The weapons dealer that Maul has been trying to find this entire book has tried to make synthetic lightsabers, which says to me probably why Plagueis wants him. Yeah. That says to me probably why Plagueis wants him unalived. Why he doesn't want the weapon skiller alive, because he's making synthetic lightsabers. But apparently the synthetic lightsabers are not working very well, as we just read. Not working well was kind of an understatement here. With a grunt, Zero brandished the blaster rifle he'd picked up earlier. Forget that. We don't need it to kill you. I could help you with your problem, Maul said. Slifer was watching him very closely, now alternating glances between him and Zero. How? When I was a mercenary, I assassinated a Jedi once, Maul said. It gave me the opportunity to study his lightsaber closely, to disassemble it. I was able to reverse engineer the components themselves, to study its design. I could fix what's wrong with these. You're lying, Zero said, his finger tightened on the blaster's trigger. You'll say whatever you have to in order to save your skin. And now you're... Stop. The voice on the intercom was not one that Maul had heard before. It rang out through the shop, clear and deep and resonant, filling all available space. At the sound of it, every one of the blind inmates at the long counter stopped what they were doing and turned their faces upward, as if they could somehow see who was addressing them. Zero, too, was looking up at the recessed speakers in the ceiling of the room, though he was still kept the blaster trained on Maul. Mr. Radique. Let the Zabrak speak. Maul bent down and picked up the blood-soaked lightsaber from the disfigured corpse that had once been C.O. Smite. Working quickly, without speaking a word, he snapped open the latch on the hilt and tipped it forward, allowing the various microcomponents to slide into his hand. It took less than 10 seconds for him to sort through them, plucking out the synth crystal and holding it up for inspection. This is worthless. Maul dropped the crystal to the floor and crushed it under his heel. Your process is flawed. It's too unstable. It's possible that your geological compressor isn't generating sufficient heat and pressure to fully fabricate the proper crystalline structure. All these lightsabers are going to do is kill their users. He lifted his head upward in the direction of the voice. I can make them function properly. There was a silence in the room. It seemed to go on for a long time. But I need something from you in return, Maul said. You know what it is. The silence came again, longer this time, unbearable. Maul waited. An eternity, and another. Kill him, the voice said, and Zero pulled the trigger. All right, I'll read, since we didn't read on Monday like we were supposed to, I'll read you a third chapter. It's a short chapter anyway. Chapter 50, Behind the Mask. The Twi'lek's finger was still tightening on the blaster's trigger when Maul threw the disassembled lightsaber at him. The pieces struck Zero flush in the face. More of a distraction than anything else, but it bought Maul enough time to lunge at him, knocking the Twi'lek to the floor. The blast firing was wild, chroming off the ceiling and ricocheting to the floor. Maul took hold of Zero's throat, already knowing that killing him was pointless, that there was no way out of here, and leave even if he slaughtered all of them. That, in finding what he'd been sent to find, he'd only signed his own death warrant. It was too late now. Even Zero seemed to realize that. On the floor beneath Maul, he was shaking his head, laughing at him bitterly. You idiot, the Twi'lek said, spitting blood. You think this is going to solve anything? Maul didn't answer. He drove his fist into Zero's chin, and to his great surprise, he felt the inmate's entire face shiver and go sideways, his flesh appearing to split open and then peel back with a gelatinous suddenness so unexpected that Maul stopped his attack and stared down at him. The Twi'lek's mask was dangling halfway off the newly exposed face of the man underneath. Maul stared at him, stunned. He knew his face, or one very like it. It was the warden of Coghive 7, Siddiqui Blur, but in masculine form. What? What? He says that you answer to another name. Dakarai? Fester Slifer said. The Mune sounded even more shocked than Maul felt. What? Dakarai Blur rose to his feet and tore the rest of his mask away from his face, flinging it away where it landed on the floor in a misshapen heap. He looked completely indifferent to Slifer and to Maul, and for that matter his full attention was focused on the ceiling. I can explain, Dacrai said quickly, and Maul realized two things simultaneously. What's that? Got something caught in my throat. Okay, so remember the warden has a twin brother who controlled all the matches, right? Apparently, so Maul was talking to Zero, the Twi'lek, who can find all these things, and apparently in a Scooby-Doo-like situation, Maul punched him in the face and his mask came off. So apparently the warden's twin brother, who, like, developed the whole algorithm for the matches and stuff, is apparently the Twi'lek Zero. He was wearing, I guess, Twi'lek Pams and a mask, and was posing as a Twi'lek. Whoa. Whoa. Dacrai Blur rose to his feet and tore the rest of the mask away from his face, flinging it away where it landed on the floor in a misshapen heap. He looked completely indifferent to Slifer and to Maul. For that matter, his full attention was focused on the ceiling. I can explain, Dacrai said quickly, and Maul realized two things simultaneously. First, Dacrai was talking to this voice that had given the instruction to kill, the voice of Iram Radik. And second, Dacrai was very scared, for reasons Maul could not determine. I needed the disguise to move among the inmates, the man said, in order to program the algorithm. It allowed me to serve you as well as my sister. Neither of you needed to know. Neither of you could know. It was really the perfect solution. I could meet with you as Zero and... Finish him, Coil, the voice said. Wait, Dacrai said. You don't have to do this. You can just... The Shadra fan acted without hesitation, picking up the blaster rifle that Dacrai had been holding just seconds earlier. Coil pointed at him and fired, discharging a single shot. The point-blank impact flung Dacrai's body across the shop, and he landed in a lifeless heap beneath one of the assembly tables. Mr. Slifer, the voice on the intercom said, as if nothing had happened. You may proceed as planned. There was a pause. Take the Zabrak with you. Oh, wait! Oh, wait! Oh! Wait a minute. If Iram Radik has the ability to tell Vesto Slifer what to do, and the only person who Vesto Slifer answers to is the head of the IBC, then that means... I think this whole time Iram Radik was... No. Higo Damask. Higo Damask is Iram Radik. I'm gonna be so pissed if Higo Damask is Iram Radik. I'm gonna be mad at that. Like, that's gonna make me mad. Like, why does Plagueis have to be all up in everybody's business? Everything goes back to Plagueis? Like, everything? Is that now it? Everything goes back to Plagueis? Everything is Plagueis now? Because even technically, like, the whole thing with, like, Moff Gideon in The Mandalorian, that's research that Damask was doing. Like, that's Plagueis research. All of that cloning nonsense. And, like, because you could tell with the way that, like, Plagueis was trying to create Force-sensitive clones. Like, that was part of one of the things that Plagueis was trying to do. And that's what Gideon was trying to do. Moff Gideon was trying to do a Force-sensitive clone. That's why he needed Baby Yoda's stuff. I'm gonna be so mad if Iram Radik is Plagueis. Hi, King. Alright. Vesto Slifer managed a queasy nod. Yes, Mr. Radik. Without bothering to look back at Maul, he started out the door. Maul followed. Seriously. Maybe I'll read tomorrow. Maybe because it's getting too good. Maybe I will read tomorrow. We only have a few more chapters left. But seriously, I'm gonna be so pissed if Plagueis is Iram Radique. Emperor Taka rose up by convincing fanatics that the old administration was corrupt. Yes! Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I know! Alright, so we're gonna read tomorrow. We'll read tomorrow. Yes, you can call me Mom. That's okay. I don't mind if you call me Mom, Belle. Yeah, you came into the best part. Alright, so we're gonna read tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, purely because of the fact that this is getting too good, and I'm... Like, I don't want to be mad, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be mad because I'm pretty, like, 99% sure now that Plagueis is, Iram Radique. And, oh, hang on, puzzle piece. And I'm gonna call it now. Hi in Iraq. I don't know, how would I say hello in Arabic? I would love, hang on, I'll look it up. How do I say hello in Arabic?
مرحبا.
Okay, I apologize if I say this incorrectly.
مرحبا.
Merhaban. I'm sorry, I cannot do, I am not good with languages. I just typed in hello. I'm gonna guess that's hello. So I'm gonna, it's 6 a.m. My goodness. I didn't realize you guys were 7 hours ahead. That's cool. I don't think that's how, well, that's what Google Translate says. Merhaban. I apologize if I butchered that. I speak German and English. I don't do any kind of language that requires tonal. Because if I think Arabic is very similar to not similar, but in the way that it's spoken, it's a tonal language. So it's not the way you say it matters. Like the different way you pronounce a word can actually change the entire meaning of the word. Just like Thai or Mandarin. Great because you tried. I like to try. I like to I find that trying is the best way that we can communicate around the world. Me trying to learn. Why are you trying to learn French? Well, if you go to France, take Mini Mando with you. She wants to go to France very badly. You want to live in France? So does Mini Mando. Tell you what, you go there, you establish yourself, and then when she turns 18, I'll just send her to you. You're currently studying Japanese? I have tried Japanese. I was better at Japanese than I was at Chinese and Thai. And I did have a friend who was once trying to teach me Arabic when I was at Cedar Point. Did I decide my Disneyland Disney bound? No. Well, maybe. I think I'm going to do one of the 70th anniversary. Webby is a good idea. I didn't even think about Webby. But no, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do one of the 70th anniversary parade outfits. So it's like that, it's like 4 pieces that I can tell. It is a blue and fuchsia sort of marbly tie-dye looking shirt, and then fuchsia capri leggings, and then a blue vest that's kind of like an 80s or a military style. It's got like the double collar kind of thing, and it's a royal blue. And then the skirt, which is the part that I really think is cool, it's like ribbony. It's like a whole bunch of crazy, really colorful ribbons with a skirt, like with a waistband on them. And so I was thinking of maybe doing that one for my Disneyland Disney Bound. I still have to figure out what my Disney World. I know, but the problem is like Ornista. I don't, one, I don't know if anybody will recognize it, and two, I'm not like, it would just be like a black shirt with a pink skirt and cat ears. I feel like it's too, like, the costume is too generic, and so no one will recognize it. That's the only problem with Ornista, because like I looked at Ornista and I thought that would be cute, but like I don't think it's gonna be, because it's her outfit is just too generic. Like, it doesn't look like anything if I wore it. The other thing I thought about recently is doing a Xenon Girl of the 21st Century. Because of Disneyland, because of Disney Channel night. Like, I did think of doing like a Xenon Disney Bound. But you know, yeah. I think the 70th parade is going to be pretty cool. I'm not going to make it exact because I don't want to get in trouble. Ooh, Jessica Rabbit would be fun. However, Disney bounding as Jessica Rabbit is quite challenging. If I also see, that's the one thing, is like, I always, when I look at these Disney bounding outfits, like, they're all well, nice and good, but like I have to make sure that I'm comfortable in it all day. So like Jessica Rabbit, really really fun. Um, but I'm not sure there's like that would not be a strapless sparkly dress all day with my hair down is not going to be comfortable in the California sun in summertime. Just saying. So, I'm going to Disneyland in June. And one of the things is, I like to Disney bound when I go to Disneyland, or Disney World for that matter. Disney bounding is where you wear like an outfit that's kind of sort of related to a costume, but isn't a costume because you're not allowed to wear a costume. But it's kind of like the way you get around the costuming rules. Hi, Daryl. So I am working on trying to figure out what I'm going to wear, because Minnie Mando has picked Minnie Mouse, but the very specific Plaza in Minnie Mouse outfit. So it's her standard like red and white polka dot dress, you know, with the puffy sleeves and the cute little collar and all that. It's that, but it also has this really cute like pink apron, because it's the Plaza Inn, and so she's like the hostess of the Plaza Inn. So it's a really cute. It's really really cute. So she's gonna do that, and then because Minnie Mando is gonna be Minnie Mouse, Tiny Mando's like, I want to be Daisy. So I'm just gonna make them little like Minnie and Daisy dresses. Uh, I'm trying to get them as like I went up on my pattern making software and I designed a dress for Minnie Mando and Tiny Mambo that pretty much is exactly what they want. I have to make some modifications because I can't quite. Minnie Mouse has a very specific collar. It's not a Peter Pan collar. It actually goes all the way around and it's pedaled. So I'm gonna have to like custom that. But beyond that, it's not. It's not gonna be super for Minnie Mouse outfit. There's not a whole lot extra I have to do. Oh, and I have to like add a sash. So like Minnie Mouse's dress has like a waistband. It's separate, so there's like a white band here between the bodice and the skirt. So I'm gonna fix that so that it's right. And you were like, why don't you just buy a Minnie Mouse dress? Because it's called Taylor Nova, and you can kind of customize patterns. It doesn't always quite give me what I want, but it does work kind of nice. So that's the Minnie Mouse dress. I would buy a Minnie Mouse dress, but they're always like, they have black on them. So I was just gonna buy a red and white polka dot dress. The problem is that they're not accurate. So I am me, and I wanted it to be exactly accurate to what Minnie Mouse wears. So like a lot of the ones that you find online, it's a black, the top is black, and the skirt is polka dots, and then it has polka dot sleeves. Minnie Mouse's actual dress is all polka dots. There's no black on it. So I'm gonna do that for Mini Mando. And then Tiny Mando, again, I threw it up. I sort of designed something in the pattern making software, and I'm just going to thank you. So I'm just gonna, I threw it up in there. I made a dress that looks like Daisy's dress. What I think I'm gonna do to like bring it home, because Daisy doesn't wear pants, and Daisy's skirt doesn't cover her whole bottom half, right? Like Minnie Mouse's does. So I think what I'll do for Tiny Mando is I will get like a pair of white capri leggings to go with the and I'll get her like yellow socks to be like duck feet. I'm not really worried about the shoes and socks kind of a thing. I'll get her some white leggings to go with the dress. Which I originally was gonna make it go down to her knee, but I'll have it go above her knee. I might make it tunic length. I probably will just make it tunic length. I'll make like a tunic length for, I am married. I have been married for, geez, how long? 12 years. Almost 12 years. Della Duck? I could be Della Duck. But no, so that's for Disneyland. That's what the kids are wearing. And I haven't figured out what I'm going to wear. I have more time for that. For Disney World in May, I'm thinking what we might do for at least our Epcot Hollywood Studios Day. I know I'm going to go to Hollywood Studios without a Star Wars outfit on. He is a very lucky man, and I'm a very lucky woman. He is a good man. I'm very proud to be married to him. You're not married? Send him your way. What do I have against Clarabelle? I don't have anything against Clarabelle. Like, there's nothing wrong with Clarabelle. I like her as a character. I just don't want to dress like Clarabelle. Something about dressing like a cow just doesn't. I don't want to dress like a cow. I just don't want to dress like a cow. I don't have anything against Clarabelle, but I don't want to do that. I just don't want to be Clarabelle. There's nothing wrong with Clarabelle. Clarabelle is perfectly lovely. I'm sure she's fine. I just don't want to be Clarabelle. It doesn't. Ma Beagle? I am not going as Ma Beagle. That's worse. So for our Epcot day, even though it's Epcot Hollywood Studios, I should do a Star Wars thing. I'm not going to do a Star Wars thing. Maybe. I don't know. I might change my mind. But I think for our Epcot Hollywood Studios day, I'm going to do Figment. And what I was thinking is that all of us do like an Epcot ride themed outfit. You're talking about Bianca? I don't know if I want to be Bianca. That's fur. I'd have to wear like a purple fur hat. Ooh, hot. So I'm gonna do probably Figment for myself, and then my friend is probably gonna do something like 3 caballeros, and her husband's gonna do just flower and garden because it's Epcot, and then my nephew, I just gotta figure out he doesn't care really, like he's just along for the ride. But I need to figure out what he's gonna wear. If we're all gonna, it would be stupid if he's not also wearing something. So do they have a space ride? They do. They have Mission Space at Epcot, and then they also have Spaceship Earth. Maybe I'll dress them like the Epcot ball. I could do the Epcot ball. Or maybe Soren. I could dress him like Soren. I don't know. I saw like a Figment, like I thought Figment would be really, really cute if I get like purple shorts and then like the yellow and red. I'd probably get a tank top because it's gonna be hot because it's May. But like a yellow and red shirt, and then I get the Figment ears. I have already also decided that when I go to Disneyland, I'm gonna buy the 70th anniversary ears, and then I'll add them to my collection because these are my 50th anniversary. These are my Disney World 50th anniversary ears. So I think it'll be apropos that I get the special edition 70th anniversary ears from Disneyland. So female go. Oh, I could do Madame Leota. I don't know what we're doing for Magic Kingdom yet. Our Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom days. We probably won't theme it to Animal Kingdom. A haunted mansion like theme would be very on par because my friend and I are both like super into Haunted Mansion. But I don't know. Because we're going to Beacon Barrel and like that's our reservation for that day, we thought maybe doing like a pirate themed thing would be kind of cool. But I don't know. What books do I have on my top shelf? Oh, so the top shelf, I have books on both, by the way, and this is just, don't pay no attention to the mess. So the top shelf has Darth Maul, Shadowhunter, Book of the Sith, Obi 123, Rise of the Red Blade, Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire, Secrets of the Sith, and Star Wars Complete Vehicles, Incredible Cross Sections. And then here I have Cloak of Deception, the most boring Star Wars book ever written, Darth Plagueis, the Episode 1 Visual Dictionary, Death Troopers, The Living Force, Star Wars Origami, The Imperial Handbook, Star Wars Attack of the Clones Visual Dictionary, and the Victory Garden Essential Companion. And that's just mostly my Star Wars books, although I still have more Star Wars books downstairs. We've been reading like Legends Timeline. You want to talk about Epcot? Hang on. Can I reach it? Yes, I can. No. Cloak of Deception is the most boring Star Wars book ever written. It is awful. It's absolutely awful. Michael, you work at Disney World, don't you? Don't you work at Disney World? I feel like you're one of my followers who works at Disney World. I can't remember. Epcot ball. Maybe I'll see you when I'm there. I don't suppose you've got your schedule for May yet. I know, I can't bother because aren't you in guest services? Guest relations? I thought you were in guest relations. I thought that's what one of your videos said. Because I think you've posted some in your uniform, and I think that you have the guest relations uniform with the plaid on the shoulders. My friend used to be in guest relations. That's how I recognize the costume. Have a good night, Tony. Come join us tomorrow. I wasn't gonna read tomorrow, but like the book is getting good, so we're gonna read tomorrow. Oh, you work behind the scenes in reservations. Ah, gotcha. Can you get me a Yak and Yeti? No, I'm not. I need a Yak and Yeti reservation. That's the only one I didn't get. It's the only one I didn't get. But that's okay. You're gonna do a Darth Bane cosplay, but I'm kind of confused over Darth Vader with a Bane mask. There's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, yeah, here's my... What happened to Darth Lucifer from TikTok Live? I don't know! Darth Lucifer hasn't been here for a while. I miss him. He still makes TikTok videos, though. He tags me in quite a few of them, but I haven't seen him recently on live. But yeah, here's my Epcot ball. It's a planter. I haven't figured out what plant to put in it yet. But I'm very proud of my Epcot ball. I wish I knew someone who could, like, make 3D print files, because I want a 3D print file for all of them, right? Like, this is the Epcot ball. I would like a 3D print file that is a planter, like this, that is roughly the same size. Not that the size really matters. Hey, Ventali! I want a 3D print file for all of them. So I want one that's Tower of Terror. So I want like a Tower of Terror with a hole in the top that I can put a plant in. I want a castle. I want the castle that I planter. And then I want the Disney tree, the Animal Kingdom tree. I don't necessarily want it, like, I don't necessarily, like, maybe have some of the details, or maybe just have some Animal Kingdom text on it. Because I know that, like, the world tree at Animal Kingdom is, like, super complicated. Muppets Rock and Roller Coaster may be open when you come. No. Do not play with me. Do not. That's not even, do not even play with me. I would cry. I would so cry. No, but the tree is the, like, symbol of Animal Kingdom, right? This is the symbol of Epcot. The castle is the symbol of. But do not even, Michael, do not even play with me. We're going, like, the last 2 days of May. The second to last. So 29th and 30th. We're going to be there May 29th and 30th. You do not even play with me like that. I will cry. Because, like, you don't understand. I went to Disney last year just to say goodbye to my Muppets. Just to say goodbye to my Muppets. But I literally did it just to say goodbye to my Muppets, okay? Just to say goodbye. And I'm gonna cry if I get to ride. Oh, but I'm gonna stand in such a long line. Is the truck? You're talking about Rainforest Cafe? Yeah, it's still there. At least it was in September. I think your daughter remember of the planter class. Hasn't been officially announced, but Maze. Oh my gosh. If that's true, oh, then I'm gonna definitely have to buy the Lightning Lane pass. I'm probably gonna buy a Guardians of the Galaxy pass. Official announcement is 4/16. Tomorrow? That's gonna make it so busy though. And we're not rope dropping Hollywood Studios. Have a good night, Omni. You realize if that's the case, and I don't get on it the day that I'm there, you do realize that means I'm gonna have to spend $200 so that I can do the after hours party on May 29th. Oh, Mando Dad would be so mad at me. I need them to do. I would love it if they did Wipeout by Animal. That would make me so excited if they did Wipeout. From the Muppet Beach Party album. That would make me so excited. But seriously, oh, I'm already excited that Thunder Mountain's going to be open when we go. Because it has not. The last time I rode Thunder Mountain was in 2005, I think. Yeah, the last time I was able to ride Thunder Mountain was in 2005. Because in 2017, we couldn't get on it. I think it's because the kids didn't want to ride it. And then 2022, no, the cast member knew that I took it. I'm not gonna lie. The cast members saw me and knew that I took it. Because, and here's how I know that she knew. First of all, I was like in tears coming out of Muppets. Because this is like the week before, right? But I was in tears coming out of Muppets 3D Vision. And like, the cast member was there. And she's like, put him in the bin, put him in the bin, put him in the bin. Everybody, like, there were a couple people that were trying to, like, take the glasses. And she's like, put him in the bin, put him in the bin, put him in the bin. And she's like, I see you, sir, put him in the bin. And then she sees me bawling my eyes out. Not even bawling. I was crying. Like, you could see that I was very sad. And I was crying because this is the last time I'll ever see Muppet 3D Vision. And I'm like, I'm holding the glasses. And I'm like, she can see it in my head that I'm like, I want to put this in my bag. I want to take a souvenir. I want to put this in my bag. And like, she's looking at me, and then she just kind of like gave me this look of like, And I just kind of like slipped it into my bag, and she just kind of was like, and then just kept on telling everybody else to put them in the bin. She saw me. I know. We made eye contact as I slipped them into my bag. Not very very nonchalant. Like, I was just like, but she saw. Like, we made eye contact. Like, she saw me put them in my bag. I kind of took that as like sort of permission, because she's like, obviously I'm not a reseller. Like, I'm never gonna sell these. These are, you can see them. They sit again on another prized Disney possession. I'm not selling it. I have no plans to ever sell them. They're very special to me. This is my stuffed Nala. I got it from my first sentient memory to Disneyland. I had gone to Disneyland once before getting this, but I was a toddler and I have no memory of it. But this is my stuffed Nala from Disneyland in 1994. Right? 94? That when Lion King came out? This is my stuffed Nala. I still have my stuffed Nala. Stuffed Nala is keeper of the glasses. Right? Like, this is, I think that's part of, maybe, like, I think the cast member, when she saw me, like, slipping the glasses in, like, obviously I'm not there to, like, be a reseller. I'm not trying to be destructive. And she could see in my head where I was seriously thinking through, I'm like, am I actually going to steal from Disneyland or Disney World? Like, she, again, we made eye contact, and she's just like, I'm going to let that one slide because you obviously look like you need it. So, yeah. But, like, it's a treasured souvenir for me. Like, I'm not, it is a very treasured souvenir. I'll admit I stole the glasses, but they are not, it is not something where, like, I stole them with the intention of selling it on eBay. Like, that is purely because when I was a kid and my parents were taking me to, we went to Disney World probably like every 2 years when I was really young. And that was one of my favorite attractions as a kid. And Muppets is like one of my favorite things when I was a kid too. So, like, that Muppets 3D Vision closing is, it's absolutely devastating. 100% devastating to me that they closed it. And I'm mad that they did. Plus, it's the last thing that, like, Jim Henson worked on before he passed. And, like, it's just, it's a very, yeah. You have a silver ball pit ball from the bottom of the Space Mountain line. Oh, nice. So, like, I feel like sometimes, like, I feel bad that I stole something, but at the same time, like, it's not where, like, I did it to be destructive. I did it because I was doing a dare. I did it purely because this is an attraction that I really, really love, and I'm absolutely devastated that it is gone. And like I said, the cast member gave me permission. Again, she saw me put it in the bag, and she said nothing. Even though, and she saw other people trying to do that and told them to put it in the bin. So, like, we silently communicated. Plus, believe me, I've paid my dues at Disney World. I got one pair of free glasses, and then I also dropped, well, let's see, that same day I bought 2 popcorn buckets. I bought a new pair of Loungefly ears, a Spirit jersey, a shirt, a Christmas ornament, and way more snacks than I probably should have. And I'll do it again. That's the thing, is that Disney knows that they got me for life. They got me for life now. Listen, you can tell who's taken them because of profit and who is keeping them for the memory. Yeah, I think that's why she let me take them, because she knew I was taking it for the memory, and I wasn't, like, there was no way that I was gonna. For me, it wasn't a profit thing. It was purely for, yay, job security. Can you get me a job in their cybersecurity department? Oh, man. If I worked for Disney, oh, I would be insufferable. I think Mando, like, I apply for jobs at Disney all the time, and I think Mando Dad secretly hopes that that would never occur because I think Mando Dad is terrified that I will become a Disney employee. Oh no, I apply on a regular basis. My cousin works for corporate. He's one of the artists. He's been an animator slash media artist, so he does some of their print media now. For almost 20 years. He's got his blue chip or blue badge or whatever it's called. But yeah, usually when we go out to California, he takes us to Disneyland, but he said he couldn't get off this time, so we gotta go buy our own ticket, which is fine. Already made my reservations. Is that what it is? No, he said blue. He said it's a blue badge. Blue something. Cuz he's corporate. He's not park. He's corporate. And he doesn't even work. He works not in Anaheim. He works in what's the other office in California? There's Anaheim. There's an Anaheim office and can't remember where the other one is. It's close to LA, but not LA. But yeah, he works. He like I said, he was he started off as an animator for DreamWorks, and he worked on Prince of Egypt. He worked on Sinbad, Road to El Dorado. When I was really young, because my cousins are way older than me, which was super fun. Burbank, yes, Thentali, thank you. Burbank. He works in Burbank, which was super fun. Because when I was a kid, he'd get like the DreamWorks movies for free, and he didn't have any kids. And so like out of all of his family, like I was the only kid, so he would, because they'd give him like free media and stuff like that. We'd get the tapes for like Prince of Egypt and Sinbad and Road to El Dorado and like all of those. Joseph and the Amazing Dreamcoat. He would send us all of those because he would get them for free at DreamWorks, and he didn't want them or need them, so that was always fun. And then DreamWorks stopped doing hand-drawn animation, so he was let go, went back to school to learn computer animation, and started working for Disney. The only project that I know of Disney's that he's definitely worked on as far as a film goes is Planes, but that's the only one. He's not usually allowed to tell me the other ones that he works on. But they're occasionally like I've asked him questions because the kids will ask me like when like the after credit scenes and stuff like that. The kids will be like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "Oh, are you serious, Zelos? Do you really have to phrase it that way?" But yeah, he's got some kind. He calls it a blue badge or a blue chip badge or blue stripe badge. I don't know, blue something. It's blue, and it means that he doesn't work for the parks. He works for big D, not little D. I don't know. It's fun though. His wife works for Mattel. She's been telling me all about the new Mattel theme park that they're opening in Arizona, which is super exciting. I want to go. You know what? He'd probably enjoy that I made that joke too. That's the fun thing of like I'm usually the baby cousin. So King is my baby cousin, but in our family, I have been the baby cousin forever. On my mom's side of the family, I am the youngest of all of the grandchildren by 8 years. So, and I think the oldest, there is 35 years between me and my eldest cousin on my mom's side of the family. Like there's a pretty big age gap. So like pretty much as long as I can remember, all of my cousins were adults, with the exception of one that's only 7 years older. But that's it. Everybody else was always like much older than me. I was passed around to be babysat by a lot of my cousins because they're so much older. Yes. Yes, that one. He has the blue ID. That. It's blue. Whatever it is, it's blue. It's blue. And it means that if we want to go to the park, all he's got to do is swipe his badge and then we can go with him. And he gets like discounts everywhere. I don't know. I'm so excited. For Disneyland this year, I remembered to do reservations like oh, okay. I didn't know that that's what it's called. But so I learned that the last 2 times we've done Disneyland, I've totally forgotten to do like reservations for anything cuz like I don't think about like I know that for Disney World, but I never thought about that for Disneyland. And this time I remembered to make reservations, so that's why we're doing the Plaza Inn for breakfast with Minnie Mouse and all of her friends, which I guess it's like a rotating, like there's no, it's just Minnie Mouse and friends. And because I've watched a couple videos on it, and like that, the characters that are at, um, the characters that are at Plaza Inn, other than Minnie Mouse, are constantly rotating. So some days you'll get Daisy and Chip and Dale and Tigger and Winnie the Pooh and Max, and like it's totally random. Um, I'm maybe he always said blue, but I don't know. I have to ask him if he's got the blue legacy thing. I mean, he's like I said, he's been there for 20-ish years. I don't know. I'd have to ask him. He's probably still awake. He's in California. It's only 8:30 there. Um, but yeah, so I made the reservations for Plaza Inn, which will be fun because that's what the kids wanted to do. And then I made a reservation for my favorite restaurant at Disneyland, which is Blue Bayou. Which, if you don't know what Blue Bayou is, that's the restaurant that's inside Pirates of the Caribbean, and their Cajun food is amazing. Oh, I had it once in 2013, and it was oh so good. And I forgot to make reservations last time. I wish I had when we went in 2022 because they had like this whole like haunted mansion holiday thing at Cafe Orleans, and I did not make a reservation ahead of time, which I wish I could have done. But I made a reservation for Blue Bayou this time. I'm super excited. And I am going to make sure that we do not eat at the Country Bears Jamboree restaurant barbecue place this time. Did not like their food. What do I order? I think what I had the last time was jambalaya. Or it, yeah. I'm pretty sure I had the jambalaya at Blue Bayou, and it was really, really good. But yeah, I don't know. I know where I don't want to eat. I'm trying to like I'm always torn when I go to Disney World and Disneyland of like going to the places that I know that they have something that I really really like and really really enjoyed versus going to a new place and trying something new. Um it's so hard to like balance that. So like I'm trying to like get it now where I'm like I try someplace new and I do something I really like each time I go. So like in this case, I'm gonna do Blue Bayou. Mainly, I'm doing Blue Bayou because I want the kids to experience it. Because I think the kids are really gonna enjoy like eating inside the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. I think that will be fun for them. Um, and I know Mando Dad likes it. So Mando Dad is really really picky about food. Yes, I've heard about Skipper's Canteen, and when I went with my family the last time, in 2022, I was supposed to go to Skipper's Canteen, and then I ended up skipping. I canceled the reservation because I was like, oh, never mind. The kids are not going to like it. Um, but I've heard really great things about Skipper's Canteen. I would like to go, but I just have not had the chance to go. I don't think. I don't think we're going to be able to do Skipper's Canteen this time either. So I only did 2 food reservations for this time round. One is and there's a third place we need to go. But we're doing Beak and Barrel at Magic Kingdom, which I'm so excited that I got Beak and Barrel. I got Beak and Barrel, and that's what we're doing for dinner. And then the other one that I got was Hollywood Studios. I booked the Phantasmic dining package for 50's Primetime Cafe for Hollywood Studios, which I'm a little sad at because I really wanted to go to Brown Derby this time. Because I've never been to the Brown Derby and I've always wanted to get their Cobb salad because that's the original Cobb salad. And since the actual Brown Derby is gone, I feel like Disney is probably going to be the closest to me getting the Brown Derby Cobb salad as I'm ever going to get. But I could have done that for Phantasmic Dining, and there was no way that I was willing to pay $60 for a salad. Like, it's all nice, well, and good, but I just can't justify spending... Actually, no, it was $80 for a salad. Like, no. So, we went with 50's Primetime Cafe so that I could get the... What's my favorite Magic Kingdom quick serve? Ooh! I don't know if I have one. Trying to think of all the quick service places I've been to Magic Kingdom. Does Dole Whip count? Oh, I know. The name is currently escaping me. The one that's in Liberty, not the one that's in Liberty Square, the quick service that's in Liberty Square. Why can I not remember the name? Oh. What's the one that's in Liberty Square? The quick service in Columbia Harbor House. Yes. I like them a lot. And my favorite quick service no longer exists. My favorite quick service was when Be Our Guest had a quick service lunch. Their food was really, really good, and you got to enjoy Be Our Guest as a quick service instead of as tableside. So I loved quick service Be Our Guest. I recognize why they got rid of it, but I really did like quick service Be Our Guest. I don't know. I mean, I don't think I've ever had like a bad experience with any quick services at Magic Kingdom. But Columbia Harbor House is definitely up there. Gaston's Tavern is pretty high up there too. But that's more of a snack thing, like not necessarily their food. I don't know. Now I have to like look up at the list. The one that I can really think of though is Columbia House because that one was really, really good. You know, I don't think I've ever been to Cosmic Rays. I don't think I've done it. So the weird thing is that in all the times I've been to Disney World, I've spent the least amount of time in Tomorrowland. Like, I never seem to spend time in Tomorrowland. No matter how many times I've gone, whether I go to Disneyland or Disney World, doesn't seem to matter. I never spend any time in Tomorrowland. And I don't know why. Like, I like Tomorrowland, but I've never done much in Tomorrowland. It's weird. I like Pizza Planet in Disneyland. I don't know if it's still there. But I liked going to Pizza Planet at Disneyland. That was always really fun. And I will say my favorite, I don't remember, hang on, it's the Rose. I can never remember the name of the restaurant. I can tell you where it is in Disneyland, but I don't remember the name. In addition to liking Blue Bayou, that's my favorite table service in Disneyland. But my favorite quick It's it's right. Is it this one right there? The Red Rose Tavern. So I really like, for quick service at Disneyland, I really, really like Red Rose Tavern. Their food was really good the last time I went. I had this like flatbread, this like lamb flatbread thingy. I don't even know. It was just really, really good. I don't even think they have it anymore. Yeah, they don't even have it. I think that was like a special seasonal thing. But it was like spiced lamb and arugula and goat's cheese or something. It was just really, really good. I really, really liked it. But I don't think they have it anymore. But let me see. Trying to think if there's any other like really good quick service restaurants that I like in Magic Kingdom. I don't know, it's hard to like I said, it's hard to pick the I just want Magic Kingdom. I like Columbia Harbor House. I like Friar's Nook. I don't know. Usually I'm so like focused. I always forget to like I've never done Pinocchio's Village House, which I do want to try. But I don't think I'm going to get that choice this time round because they've got black garlic truffle parmesan fries. Ooh, that sounds good. Just because of like the way, yeah, you're the only one on YouTube. It's fine. Just because there's just not going to be time. So we're rope dropping Animal Kingdom that day, and we're gonna have brunch. We'll have like a quick meal at the Dolphin probably before we go. Get it? We're not gonna be able because that would be lunch. Because dinner. So our dinner is Beak and Barrel. So and our lunch is gonna be at Animal Kingdom because my friend his thing he wants to do he's never done before is Yak and Yetis. So he is very much like we gotta do Yak and Yetis. I'm like all right, Yak and Yetis it is. So we gotta stay at Animal Kingdom longer than we normally would to go to Yak and Yetis for him. So we're gonna rope drop Animal Kingdom, rope drop Flight of Passage, maybe ride Navi River, and then I think I'm gonna do Expedition Everest. We're either gonna do Expedition Everest or the Zootopia show, and that should land us right around hopefully 10:30ish, and then we're gonna basically eat brunch at Yak and Yetis, and then head over to Magic Kingdom. And spend the rest of the day at Magic Kingdom because I want my nephew to see the Happily Ever After fireworks. Because I feel like this is his first trip to Disney. This is his graduation present. He's 17. This is his first trip to Disney. I feel like it's important that he sees the Happily Ever After fireworks. Also think it's important that he sees Fantasmic. I told Mando Dad that when we go to Disneyland, I do need to see Fantasmic live. I have been to Disneyland, I don't know how many times now, but I have never seen Fantasmic. Because we always leave. I have never rope dropped to close Disneyland. Ever. I have done it at the parks at Florida many, many times. I have never rope dropped to closed at Disneyland. Because everybody gets tired and makes me go home. And I told Mando Dad, I was like, look, I do not care if you and the children are sleeping in the car, but fine, you guys at 9 o'clock go back to the car and sleep. I don't care. Do not care. I am gonna go see Phantasmic, okay? I'm gonna go see Phantasmic, and then you guys can drive me home afterwards. He's like, what if I don't? I was like, I don't care what you want. I'm gonna see Phantasmic. The real one. The original one. Have I seen the Glambot trend? I have seen the Glambot trend. I am super excited. So I've already, discussed it. So my other friends won't ride Tower of Terror. But my nephew has said that he is totally on board with riding Tower of Terror. So we're doing the Glambot trend. Oh, we're going to do the whole TikTok video, elevator straight to the top. Wait for the drop. We're going to do the whole thing. We're going to make the whole TikTok video, right? I've already, I'm thinking we're going to, put on sunglasses while fist bumping. I feel like that's the Glambot that I want to do. Or at least just the fist bump. I don't know about the sunglasses, but we're gonna fist bump. Sunglasses with fist bump. I feel like that's the fun one, that we're gonna do. So I'm excited for the Glambot trend. I'm very excited to do the Glambot trend. It's either that or I'm just gonna hair flip or something. I don't know. Sunglasses is cool, yeah. And I'm gonna get, they're already in my Amazon cart. The Mickey sunglasses, where it's Mickey's head, are both that one. I'm doing those. Might have to wear my contacts that day, but hey, it's gonna be so much fun. I'm so excited. I'm always excited to go to Disney World. Are you kidding me? No, because I don't want them to take them back. They've used them at Buzz Lightyear now. They're gonna think that I stole them off of Buzz Lightyear. Haven't been close to California. California's fun. I love California. All right. Well, it is almost midnight for me. And I have to go to work in the morning. Tomorrow I gotta go to the office. I was supposed to go to the office today, but then my stomach and I had a bit of a fight last night. It did not go well this morning. And so I could not drive myself to the office today because my stomach and I were having a fight. Or I should say my stomach was having a fight with food. Anyway, I hope you guys all have a good day. I will see you guys all tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope we get it too. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be so... So anyway, hope you guys have a good night. See us tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to read 2 more chapters of MAUL because, holy cow, it's getting good. Also, I'm going to be